Have you ever heard the phrase Good Samaritan? We use it all the time to describe someone who helps a stranger in need. But do you know where that phrase comes from? It's from one of the most powerful and challenging stories Jesus ever told, found in the Gospel of Luke, chapter 10. Let us dive into it today and see what it really means to be a good Samaritan. The story begins when an expert in religious law asks Jesus a question to test him. "Teacher, what must I do to inherit eternal life?" Jesus, in his typical fashion, turns the question back on him. "What is written in the law? How do you read it?" The man answers perfectly, quoting 2 commandments. "Love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your strength and with all your mind. And love your neighbor as yourself." Jesus tells him, "You have answered correctly. Do this and you will live." But the man, wanting to justify himself, asks another question, and this is the one that sets the stage for our story. "And who is my neighbor?" Instead of giving a simple definition, Jesus tells a parable. He says a man was traveling from Jerusalem down to Jericho. This was a notoriously dangerous road, about 17 miles long, winding through steep, rocky terrain perfect for ambushes. And sure enough, robbers attack the man. They strip him of his clothes, beat him, and leave him for dead on the side of the road. Now, the first person to come along is a priest. You'd think, great, a religious leader, a man of God, he'll surely help. But when he sees the beaten man, he crosses to the other side of the road and continues on his way. Why would he do that? Well, under Jewish law, touching a dead body would have made him ceremonially unclean, unable to perform his temple duties. He might have thought the man was dead, or he simply prioritized his religious obligations over a person's life. He chose rules over compassion. Next, a Levite comes along. Levites were also involved in temple services, assistants to the priests. He does the same thing. He sees the man, and he too passes by on the other side. Again, maybe it was fear of becoming unclean, or maybe he was afraid the robbers were still nearby. Whatever his reason, he also failed to act. He saw the need, but walked away. Then, the hero of our story appears, and he's the last person anyone at the time would have expected. Jesus says a Samaritan came along. Now, to understand how shocking this is, you need to know the cultural context. Samaritans and Jews despised each other. Their feud went back centuries, rooted in religious and ethnic differences. They had different places of worship and different versions of the scriptures. For a Jew, a Samaritan was a heretic, an outcast, an enemy. They wouldn't even speak to each other, let alone help one another. So when this Samaritan sees the Jewish man lying helpless and bloody, he could have easily justified walking by. He could have thought, he's one of them. He probably hates me. This isn't my problem. But he doesn't. Jesus says the Samaritan took pity on him. That phrase in the original Greek is powerful. It means he felt compassion from the very depths of his being. And this compassion wasn't just a feeling. It led to immediate action. He went over to the man. He didn't care about the risk or the inconvenience. He poured oil and wine on the man's wounds, a common form of ancient first aid. Oil to soothe, and wine, with its alcohol content, to disinfect. He bandaged him up, probably using his own clothes. Then he lifted the man onto his own donkey, meaning the Samaritan himself would have to walk, and took him to an inn to care for him. But he doesn't stop there. The next day he takes out a denarii, which was about 2 days' wages, a significant amount of money. He gives it to the innkeeper and says, "Look after him, and when I return, I will reimburse you for any extra expense you may have." He didn't just provide immediate aid. He ensured the man's long-term recovery. He went above and beyond, at great personal cost, for someone who was supposed to be his enemy. After telling this story, Jesus turns back to the expert in the law and asks, "Which of these 3 do you think was a neighbor to the man who fell into the hands of robbers?" The lawyer, perhaps unable to even bring himself to say the word Samaritan, replies, "The one who had mercy on him." And Jesus delivers the final powerful command, "Go and do likewise." So, what does this story mean for us today? Jesus completely flips the original question. The lawyer asks, "Who is my neighbor?" which is a question of limitation. It asks, "Who do I have to love? Who is in and who is out? Where can I draw the line?" Jesus changes the question to whom can I be a neighbor? This is a question of opportunity. It's not about defining who deserves our help, but about becoming the kind of person who gives help to anyone in need. Our neighbor isn't just the person who lives next door, or someone who looks like us, thinks like us, or votes like us. Our neighbor is anyone we encounter who is hurting and in need, regardless of their background, their beliefs, or their social status. The parable challenges us to see the humanity in everyone, especially those we might consider the other or even an enemy. Compassion, in the story of the Good Samaritan, is not a passive emotion. It's active, it's risky, and it's costly. It means getting our hands dirty. It means interrupting our busy schedules. It means being willing to give our time, our resources, and our energy to help someone else. The priest and the Levite saw the problem, but they kept their distance. The Samaritan got involved. He crossed the road. He knelt in the dirt. He touched the wounds. Today, the road to Jericho is all around us. It's the homeless person we pass on the street. It's the co-worker who's struggling with their mental health. It's the lonely elderly person in our community. It's the refugee family trying to start a new life. It's the friend going through a messy divorce. The opportunities to be a neighbor are endless. And just like the priest and the Levite, we have plenty of excuses to walk on by. I'm too busy, it's not my problem. Someone else will help. I don't know what to do, I'm afraid. Jesus' story cuts through all of those excuses. He calls us to have the heart of the Samaritan, a heart that sees need and responds with gut-level compassion that moves us to act. So, who is your neighbor? The real question is, who will you be a neighbor to this week? Will you be the one who crosses the road to avoid the mess, or the one who crosses the road to bring healing and help? The command from Jesus is simple and direct. Go and do likewise. Let's take that to heart. Thank you so much for watching. If this story has challenged or inspired you, please give this video a thumbs up and share it with someone who might need to hear it. And don't forget to subscribe for more content that explores these timeless truths. See you in the next video.